Hi, friends. I'm Scott Giles, and welcome to Power Talk, my podcast here on Facebook Live and YouTube. I cover topics related to spirituality, hypno-coaching, and the hypnotic arts and sciences generally. If you'd like to know more about my professional work or sign up for my free e-newsletter, Power Lines, check out my website, which I'll tag at the end of this video. Today, I want to talk about being wealthy. Now, most people think it is a good idea to be wealthy. However, in my long ministry, I've come to believe that trying to live one's life with accumulating money as the primary goal is a really, really bad idea. This podcast is about why. Now, no one wants to be poor. All sorts of things go along with being poor in our society: inadequate or non-existent housing, hunger, and a complete and general disempowerment. I've spoken about this recently in a different podcast, but I believe that in the United States we are no longer really either a democracy or a republic. We are a plutocracy, government by the wealthy for the sake of the wealthy. That's why the rich keep getting richer and why the gap between the upper 1% of earners and everyone else keeps getting larger and larger. So in today's world, one does not want to be poor. But that said, wealth is also, at least to some degree, a state of mind. I've known people who live modestly, but who I consider wealthy because they want what they have and do not experience a longing for what they do not have. Similarly, I know people who are outwardly wealthy, but miserable inside. And fortunately, I know a lot of people who are comfortable with their circumstances, but who also have control of their desires and are basically happy because they don't let their desires run away with them. As the philosopher Seneca put it, we should not believe the lack of silver and gold to be proof of the simple life. It isn't. Wealth is a state of mind. You can be poor and miserable because you crave things you don't have. You can be wealthy and miserable because you still crave things that you don't have. The problem is you need to want what you do have. As one of the greatest meditation masters in modern times, a Buddhist master, the late Thich Nhat Hanh, put it, it's really not too difficult to earn enough to cover the basics. The problem is that people convince themselves that they want more, often much more, and they get caught up in a cycle of desire. You want more, and so you need to acquire more, and so you push yourself, you make sacrifices of your happiness and relationships to make the acquisition of wealth possible, and you pay a fearsome price for that acquisition. The destruction of your primary relationships, unhappiness in your family, and even living day to day with an unfulfilled desire. That price is your own contentment and joy. I once had a client who told me that his sole goal in life was to earn a large amount of money. Now, I suggested that earning a lot of money wasn't really his goal. He disagreed. Look, I said, if your sole goal is really just earning a lot of money and nothing else, you probably should become a drug dealer because it's the fastest way to earn a pile, and most drug dealers are not caught. So how come you're not dealing drugs if earning a lot of money is the sole goal? Well, he wasn't happy with me for that observation, but I stand by it. The fact that he wanted to reject the whole idea of dealing drugs, even though it would be very profitable, showed us that there was in fact something else, more logically primitive to what he wanted out of his life than just making money. And to his credit, he did the work, and as we worked at it, we discovered that his real goal was to be admired and independent. Now, those are goals I can get behind, and as a hypnotist, I can see how to help someone behave more admirably and to pursue personal autonomy. Getting money is one way to do that, but there are others. No one would say someone like Mother Teresa was wealthy because, in fact, she was poor, but she certainly was admirable and had her autonomy. In fact, someone I know who knew her remarked that no one ever crossed her. She was a very powerful personality. Ryan Holiday, a contemporary Stoic philosopher, tells this story. Molly Bloom, the infamous poker host and subject of Aaron Sorkin's movie Molly's Game, referenced this story, giving us an idea of what it was like to be in the room with some of the most wealthy and powerful people in the world. Bloom was right there, tableside, with billionaires, Hollywood icons, and legendary athletes. At the same time, she said, I would not have traded places with any of them. They were on the hedonic treadmill, and they couldn't get off because they never felt that there was enough. Well, even more clearly, the ancient philosopher Seneca wrote, being poor is not having too little, it's wanting more. And that's the thing. What Molly Bloom called the hedonic treadmill involves spending your energy in life trying to get things that you've convinced yourself you want, but really, do you want them? And that's the question I put before you, my listener and viewers, today. It was a huge liberation for me when I realized that I didn't need to spend my time trying to acquire things I did not need in order to impress people I often did not like. That was a fool's errand. Much better to spend my time doing things I enjoyed and not caring about what anyone else thought about it. Now, I've done okay, but the reason was that I am happy with the life I have, and that happiness seems to have an attractive energy to it. And reliably, the things that make me honestly happy have shown up in my life. Meaningful work, delightful hobbies, martial arts and cooking, a great relationship, cats, and lots of intellectual stimulation, and a few more cats. Well, those are the things I value and enjoy, and so I'm wealthy because I have them in abundance. So that's my hope for you. I hope you're happy. If you're not happy, I hope you become so. An important part of being able to do that is to want what you have and not spend energy craving what you do not have. I mean, sure, it's fine to want to improve your circumstances, but an overfocus on that is a great way to make yourself miserable. Don't be miserable. Be wealthy, be rich by getting off the hedonic treadmill and boil down your desires to the things that you really want because they really make you happy, and then seek to obtain them. Don't give a damn about what other people think or think of you. In terms of your happiness, that really is not going to matter. Hey, thank you for your time and attention today. I'll be back next week with another talk on a different subject. I'd like to invite you to join me. It does help me if you let others know about my work and my videos, so please like, share, and subscribe. And if I can be of help to you, feel free to reach out through email, my website, or my Patreon channel. Have a great week.